Good morning, everybody. Happy Motivation Monday. This week, I wanted to start us with a quote. You can't build a reputation on what you're going to do, by Henry Ford, right? And that's so important. I remember my young 20s, I was a dreamer. Oh my God, I was gonna be a millionaire by this age if I just made this right investment, did this right. And you get into your 30s and you're not there, you're nowhere on track, right? Reality hits. So thing is, you got to grind, guys. You're not going to build your reputation on those promises of what you're going to do. You just got to set realistic goals, go out there, do it, achieve those goals, beat those goals, and you'll slowly build, right? All right, and so with that, let's get started. So Motivation Monday today, we are going to go over some tips of the week, right? Our sales shout outs, so our leaders and everything like that. This week, we got some good feedback last time when I went over the coverage builder Quotit's application that we have. So this time I'm going to go over the CRM portion of it. I want to kind of take a deep dive into that with you guys, show you some fun things you may or may not know in the CRM that's there, since it's all free and provided for you guys, right? When you're selling that gen, so why not use it? And then the survey at the end, guys. So the first tip of the week is that we have some Medicare webinars coming up, guys. Okay, so we're getting kind of pumped up here. You know that October 15th is the start of Medicare open enrollment, right? So we've got a bunch of training scheduled over the next couple months here to kind of ramp us up for that. One of the cool things here, guys, now you should have received an email already from marketing that had all this information in it. If you register for these webinars, you only need to register for one of them, and then you're automatically enrolled in all of them. So you don't need to go through each one and select it. And then you can kind of just pick and choose which ones you have availability for each week or month as it goes, and you can kind of plan your schedule around that. All of these will be at 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, okay? So look out for these. Sign up. Again, you only need to register once, and then you're registered for all of them. But take a look at that calendar, maybe save that calendar so you can find which events are meaningful to you, right? The next, since I'm going to be going over Quotit, I wanted to kind of give you guys a little screenshot of some insider stuff. So NatGen's got a new short-term plan coming late August, right? So we all know that that's coming. It can be up to 3 years in some states that we'll be able to write. So I wanted to give you, I got a screenshot of kind of what is going to change in Quotit when you're doing that quote at the very beginning of the quote, right? And you hit that show plans. Well, now it's going to change to where you're going to have 12-month and then renewal options, because again, these aren't 3-year plans, right? They're going to be 12 months, 3 consecutive. So then you'll just be able to say, hey, I wanted to have 2 renewals, which makes it that 3-year plan. So we're going to be beating this into you guys over the next month, 6 weeks here as we're ramping up. We're really excited about this new short term, but since I'm doing Quotit today, I wanted to kind of give you guys a quick look on what that might look like coming up right around the corner here as we're continuing to shamelessly plug NatGen's new short term, right? All right, so we're going to jump into the sales leaders and kudos for last week, the week of July 1st. We had a ton of you guys selling a lot. Surprising. So a lot of you guys weren't taking the holiday, So great job out there, guys. Short-term NatGen was definitely our highest this last week, so great job there. Limited Med, the Health Protector Guard through United was our #1 product there, so it overtook short-term this week. Accident was Golden Rule as well. We had critical illness was NatGen was our top product, and then dental Emeritus again. So great job there, guys. It's fun kind of seeing us switch it around a little bit, some new products being the heavy ones sold. So great week overall. In short term, Cody came in number 1, Cody Randazzo, so great job there. David Duckworth, number 2, and then Katia Santamaria, again, coming in at number 3. So great job on short term this week, guys. Limited med, we had Evan O'Brien and Sean Farrell, 2 names that I haven't seen before, so congrats, guys. And then accident, Don Trotter, as well as Cody Randazzo. So great overall week, guys. Let's hit the ground running this week, right? With the new week right after the holidays. Hopefully we're all rejuvenated, ready to go. All right. And so with that, guys, I'm going to now jump into the Coverage Builder application and give you guys a little run through on kind of the CRM and some things you may or may not know already on Coverage Builder. So here we go, right? All right, so the first thing, most of what I'm going to be doing today, since we're going to be working in the CRM, is I'm going to be working in contacts up here, okay? You can also get there by clicking this button of View Individual Contacts here, all right? So I'm going to click that, and we're going to go into the contacts of the Coverage Builder Quotit CRM here, okay? I want to show you guys a couple things, and you guys know the default, right? The last customer that you've been dealing with is always going to be the first one to show on the list. So right now, these all have the same customer name. These are just quick quotes, right? And you guys have done the quick quote flow. That's this flow on the home page here, right, where you just enter a zip code real fast. Let me just do California for you, right? So no, it's not registering. All right, so if we just quickly ran a quote here for California, right? Now, they're not going to return any short-term plans for us. But just by us running this quote, now I purposely did California because there's not a whole lot of Californias in here. Now, if I go back to contacts, we're going to see that California now is the last web visitor on the list, right? Now, I'm going to go down to this North Carolina web visitor here, and we're going to start editing some of the information in the contact. So there's 3 main screens we need to be aware of in the contact screen in the CRM. The first box is this top left box, the contact info. This is your primary contact, their name, email, phone number, address. This is going to be the contact information, okay? And I specify that because the census information can be a little bit different, and I'll get to that. This other screen is where we're going to differentiate our different contacts, right? So you can come into edit here. You can actually put your clients into different categories. So if I go to edit, you can add new categories. So like Medicare, right? Since Medicare is right around the corner and we're ramping up on that, and you hit save. Now Medicare is a category of clients. Then you could do your under 65. Heck, you could have a family category, right? Your friends and family or something. So you can create a whole bunch of different categories as well as statuses. Maybe you have a status for hot lead, right? Or fresh lead, you know, whatever that might be. So you can play with that, guys, but then now you can start setting these leads. Maybe this is a family person here. This is one of my family members, and it's Bob Smith. Let's just call it. All right, and so if you save this information, you'll see that Bob Smith updated up here in the contact. As well, if I go back out to the contact screen, Bob is now the #1 customer. He bumped California off of there because he was the last customer that I was just in. You'll see in category, he's now my family category, right? So this is going to make you managing your book of business much easier as you're searching for stuff, right? You can run an advanced search up here, and you can actually search for just your family members, right? So you can search for your prospects, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So use that to your advantage. We're going to go back into Bob now. I want to show you his census information didn't update. Now, some people have complained, hey, why do I have to update information twice here, right? Well, the big reason on that, guys, is for the situations where you might have the father of the family oversees the bills for a bunch of people in the family, right? Maybe he oversees his son and daughter as well, who are off on their own, but the dad just kind of oversees everything. Maybe dad also oversees grandma and grandpa's bills, right? And so Bob Smith is the father, and he is our contact information. But in their family, maybe Bob's the first one, but we're going to add more dependents now and do Grandma Smith, right? And then Grandma actually lives in Florida, okay? Not in California with Bob, right? And now you can see if we edited this information, we've got Grandma Smith here. You can see Grandma is a whole separate person in the census information. And maybe as you're going to be running and quoting, let me just click new proposal real fast, right? Maybe as you're going to be running and quoting, we're only trying to quote for grandma. But it is important. Now I'm going to go back to Bob. You can see selected contact. I'm going to go back to Bob. That is why it's important that we might have these separate boxes. But it's very important that you as the broker are updating this information for both of these fields accurately, right? When you update up here, it is not going to automatically update down here. So you need to make sure that you know that they're two separate logics, and this census information is what is going to be used when you actually run a quote, okay? So that's the first step of the contact screen, okay? I'm going to go a little bit deeper now in Bob Smith's contacts and show you some other things that we can jump into. So these policies, guys, policies are very important. You can actually update policies here. I'm going to click add policy for companies that aren't NatGen even. So let's say you signed your client up for United, right, for the short term, but you did give them some NatGen accident or critical illness, right? So you would still have the contact here in your NatGen CRM. Well, look how powerful this thing is, guys. We can actually update and put United here, right? You can put what kind of plan you got them, the health protector card, whatever, right? You can put the policy number when you get that, and you can save all of this information in here. So let's put the premium 1,000. I'm just making numbers up here as we go. But now, guys, you can see that their United plan is showing in your coverage builder application. Your dental, you can update this information in here, guys, right? As you come down, I think we've touched on this before, but to know any proposal that you send to your client. So if you email a proposal, you run a proposal and you email that to a client, that'll be tracked in here, right? Any email that you send to your client, whether it be a proposal or a follow-up, maybe a marketing email, if you do that using this application, that'll be tracked. We also track if the customer viewed the email, if they opened it, okay? So you'll be able to see all that information at your fingertips. Application history is a huge one, and I'm going to jump into this in a little bit more detail for you guys in a second. And then attachments, guys, right? So the attachments is really cool. This can save you a ton of money on managing your own filing system, right? You can come in here, you can kind of put whatever it is. Maybe they've given you their tax slips, right? Or anything like that. Maybe their social security cards. You can kind of keep all of that information here, upload that stuff, and keep it on file for the Smith family as well. Maybe he sent you something about grandma, some information about her medicines or something like that, right? All that stuff can be kept here. So very, very important. That's under the attachments for you. The next thing that we're going to go over, guys, is in that application history. So I'm going to go back to contacts. And I want to see if we have any applications in here. So when you see you've got these applications, right, and their status over here. So in the contacts, you can search by proposals on the left side, any proposal you've emailed out to a client, right? And so if I click on it, it'll actually take me to that customer contact. I'll scroll down and I can see the proposal history, right? I can review the proposal that I had previously sent to this client. The system's going to track all of these, right? But I know this client received a NatGen short-term 80/20 quote, okay? That's what we had sent at that time. If I go back out there, and now I want to go down to the Applications tab, I can now search customers that we submitted an application on, right? And so you come down, and now in application history, you can see it was for one customer back on June 17th, 2 companies, a NatGen short term with an accident rider, right? An accident plan coupled with it. And there you go. You got all the information about both of these are application in progress, right? Well, I want to show you a really cool trick to make adding those policies even easier and not as much work for the NatGen policies that you sell. If this status is a sold status or a status that you could have that the application has been submitted or received or approved, any of those good statuses, I want to jump back over to my PowerPoint now and show you. I had to block out customer information because we had to use live apps and everything. So I want to jump over here again and show you. So if I view this application like we were just on that screen, and we see any good status, right? We could have submitted online, we could have accepted. In this case, I just chose a carrier online redirect status. You'll see this little green arrow in the bottom right corner, right? This green arrow is very important and it makes your life so much easier because all of the information about this application automatically transfer over. Now, this isn't an amazing example because you can see we don't have the policy ID, we don't have the application number, all that. We would if this was a NatGen application I submitted, but again, I wanted to keep all that out of there just for HIPAA rules. Well, if you hit that green button, what's going to happen is it's going to take you now into that same policy screen that we were at, right? Except everything is already pre-filled out for you, the plan, the company. If it was a NatGen that's already been submitted back, you'll have the policy number in there. You'll have all of this information pre-filled. Literally all you'll need to do is select save. Now, if you have to enter Medicare ID or something up there, but it's that simple. So it really should be a 2-click thing. You click the green button, you just verify that the information's right, and you hit save, and you're done. Then you can actually search policies. So when you come down to that 4th tab and you're searching policies, one of the cool things with this policy search that your contact search up top does not have is when you go to the edit column data, you can change the columns to show stuff like the insurance type, the effective date of the plan, the carrier, and even the plan that you sign them up for. Now, this is very important because just like NatGen's rolling out a new short-term plan, every company in this industry is constantly changing, constantly evolving, creating new plans, right? So the best way for you to be a great agent and be on top of your customer base is to know what plans they're on. So when you get marketing information saying, hey, this plan is changing, right? We're going to be doing this different. You can actually pull a list of every customer that you have in the CRM that had that plan last year and now do your own marketing and get them signed up in the new plans, right? So all of this information is at your fingertips. You just have to be using the system right and making sure you're filling out that policy information for those outside sources, right? If you didn't write the business with NatGen, for United or whoever it might be. But use this, guys. All of this information is here for you. Take advantage of it. So that was what I wanted to go over today with the CRM that you guys have at your fingertips there. The last thing I'll touch is just over, and I'll go live again here just so you can see. I'll go back to the contact. So all that's there. If I go back into the contacts list, the last thing that I wanted to touch on is that it's always going to default to your last 30 days here in the history. Always be aware of that. If you're not getting the search results that you wanted, just click all activity. Sometimes we always forget to do that and we're not getting the results we want out of the CRM. Why is it not searching? Why is it not doing? And unfortunately can't change the default. The default just sits at last 30 days. So we always would have to click that and go to all activity. So just be aware of that, guys, and how that works. And then the last goodie is export and import, right? The export will actually export whatever information you have showing on this screen. Why I tell you that as it being important is, let's say we did the policies. Now in this case, I only have the one policy that I entered information on, right? But to edit the column data where I want the carrier, the plan, maybe I don't care for the created date or the effective date, right? But I want to know what I got for my customers, right? So I'm going to update that, and you'll see these bars will update up top, right? Now I've got carrier, plan, etc. When I do my export, that is how it's going to show on the spreadsheet that I export to. So you'll make sure that you get that data, which is going to make it much easier for you to just run a quick filter on it and get all your customers that had Health Protector Guard or whatever it might be, right? So make sure that you're managing that appropriately when you're in here. And when you're doing exports, let's say we're in contacts. Again, I want to show you contacts. When I edit column data, we don't have the carrier or the policy, right? So, or the plan type. So that's why those different columns, why these different tabs are important to know and important to fill out that information. But let's say you are just trying to do some marketing, right? Well, then you can come in here into the contacts. You can do 1,000 results per page, right? To really get a larger customer pool. Now, you don't need created date. Maybe source is important, but you definitely want their email so we can send them some marketing, right? Maybe their zip code is important as well. And then so from there, you just hit this checkbox. So it checks all of them, and you just scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you would export that. The last thing is to import. To import, you actually have to download a spreadsheet first. So you're going to go Action, Import, hit Go. And there's a blue link up top here. Click to view copy import template. You must click this, and you have to download, and you actually have to save it. I just clicked open so you can see it, but you actually have to save this. And all of your customer contact information you have from your other CRM would need to be put into these columns. The code with Quotit is built on these column widths, so please don't adjust those. Just copy paste all of the information as appropriate. If you need more information, you can just highlight over anything. State, once your state abbreviation. Email, only customers that have a phone number or an email address will be imported, right? There's the phone formats for the phone number. Zip code must match the state abbreviation, right? So different things like that. Gender, male or female, not M or F. Here's the date of birth format. So you guys just highlight over it. It'll show you what to do, but put all your information in there. Then you browse and you upload that. And within seconds, thousands. I mean, you could do 15,000. It would upload within a minute into the system. So you can get all your information in there, all your contacts. The more information that you put into the system, the more you're going to get out of it. Right, guys? Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit up training@ahcpsales.com. Or again, you can also call agency services 877-228-8773. This is trainer Nick Murillo checking out again, guys. Happy Motivation Monday. Have a great week.